Our sports reporter Craig Murray caught up with veteran Australian radio commentator Jim Maxwell, and they discussed the Australian team's ball tampering incident in South Africa.
Hi, I'm here at Newlands with a man who's the voice of Australian radio. He's worked for ABC, the radio there for 45 years. Jim Maxwell. Jim, thanks for your time. South Africans we've enjoyed having your commentary on SABC radio and TV as well. You've been with so many Australian teams over so many years. What is your reaction to what happened yesterday?
Oh, well, I'm disappointed, I think, probably like most Australians, that something like this has occurred. It's a betrayal of trust that most Australians would have in their cricket team and the leadership of that team, because in Australia the position of a cricket captain is probably more important in the eyes of a lot of people than that of Prime Minister. So it carries a lot of sway, and there's an expectation that the person in that office will behave in such a way that we can respect them, they have integrity, and they will not do what Smith did yesterday in premeditating ball tampering, which is cheating. And as everyone knows, anyone who's called a cheat is probably tarnished for life. So I think it was a pretty ordinary performance from Australia yesterday to even contemplate to do that, then carried out.
I suppose you've been with so many great Australian teams. I mean, Australia have won World Cups, they've won so much. Where teams have always played it. I mean, like, has this been a build-up, Jim, maybe with Darren Lehmann as coach? Not personally, but just the players maybe being a little bit disconnected from the public. Players are earning so much money. Has this been a build-up over a period of time?
I think so. I'd like to think it's in the hands of only a few, not the whole of the team. But I think there'll have to be questions asked about the leadership of Smith. I think some immaturity has been revealed here in the way he's been handling the side, and the influence on the periphery of Darren Lehmann as the coach. And I think an aggressive approach may be all very well, but when it comes to the point of really cursing and going at the opposition in the way this Australian team at times has done, their judgment becomes questionable. And that was clearly the case yesterday. They made a very bad judgment.
And Jimmy, everyone makes mistakes, but obviously when you're a professional cricketer and you've got all these cameras, just in your 45 years, there's been a few things. I don't think you've been around since Bodyline. But, is this one of the lowest moments of Australian cricket? I mean, does this rank up there in all the years that you've been involved with Australian cricket?
I think I've never felt as disappointed in an Australian team as I was yesterday. There have been other incidents over the years, and people talk about the underarm with Greg Chappell, but that was more of an aberration, and it
wasn't actually against the law, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't. That's the thing. Yeah. But that didn't go down very well in terms of the spirit of the game, apart from being unnecessary at the time, as yesterday's was. It was unnecessary. They were getting the ball to do a bit. It was curious that the ball wasn't replaced. Apparently, the umpires inspected it 11 times and didn't replace it. But that's outside what occurred. But I do feel for Bancroft. I think he's a bit of a patsy in this, because David Warner's normally the one everyone's looking at to polish the ball and get it in a better condition for the bowlers. But I think there was a little discussion at the tea break about going in another direction, and that's why Bancroft was doing it. But yeah, I hope it doesn't affect his career. But I'm more worried about the sort of psychological scars that could come out of this for a number of Australian players, a lot of them who may not have even been aware that there was some ruse being developed by the captain.
Just in conclusion, Jim, and moving forward, often the best things are happening in adversity. We don't want adversity. Is this maybe an opportunity for the Australian authorities, Australian Cricket Board, Australia, to have a good look and maybe change tack, brilliant cricketers, but maybe a different approach, and that sledging. I mean, the game's changing with all these cameras, the game's changing. Maybe this is an opportunity for Australian cricket to have a look at itself and maybe change tack going forward.
Well, changing tack's all very well, but we're looking in the captain and vice captain of two of the best players. So you'd hate to think that this would be the termination of their careers, maybe some suspension. I don't know what the Code of Conduct Commission is going to come up with over this But I do think there needs to be a change of attitude. Being hard-nosed is all very well, but it's just gone too far. It's gone so far they've become arrogant and they've lost their sense of judgment, and that was the problem yesterday.
Just in conclusion, Jim, South Africans have enjoyed having you on SABC, on our radio, that voice, the voice of Australian cricket. It's been a wonderful series. It's just been such action-packed. It's actually been a wonderful play too, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your time in South Africa. Obviously, you didn't want this controversy, and let's hope the rest of the series goes without any more controversy.
It'll be a miracle if Australia get over 400 to win this test, but I've seen miracles before. Just maybe.
That is Jim Maxwell. Thanks so much for your time, Jim. And that's for Craig Murray at Newlands Cricket Ground for SABC TV News.